Okay, this time let's say no. What happens if I say no? I'm scared. Huh? I don't know. I don't know why I'm scared. It must be ridiculous, huh? We spent all this time doing things to get my memories back. But whenever I try to remember, it's like I don't want to. I want to know what happened, but I want to look around some more. Maybe we can fix the computers and figure out what's going on outside. It doesn't feel safe to go out either. Shall I cancel the data transfer then? Yes. Oh, right. Good end. All thrown away. So AL. All thrown away. Oh. So that's the good ending. Alright. Oh. Well, interesting. She kept quiet. No, Faye, I want to do this myself. Come on, I can at least do this much. Of course. Do as you wish. Though, would it not be more logical to fix the mainframe system rather than working on your personal computer? Probably, but the mainframe would be way too complex for me. That is true. You're not supposed to agree with me. Sheesh. Is something wrong, though? You seem a bit nervous. Ah, not at all. Just concerned that you'll blow yourself up. I'm not that bad. But yeah, we probably should check the mainframe out. Maybe if we can resolve that error, I'll be able to get my memories, then... It looks like I failed again. Huh. Alright, so that was the whole good ending. Alright, interesting. Next! Alright. This is the ending without using the hand or the USB. This should be the main data storage. Faye, could you please connect me to the servers? I should be able to gain access to the data that's missing from my database. Faye? Ah, yes. The data will start processing any moment now. The sudden influx of data may be a shock to your system. Thank you, Faye. An error. An error? Maybe my database is corrupted? That would explain why I can't access certain data. Zai, are you sure you wish to do this? Yes. Of course! I want to know what happened. Please, Faye. Data transfer confirmed. Oh, that's bad. Oh, that's really bad. It just keeps going. Authorization error. That is really bad. Huh? What does that... Corrupted database found. Deleting files. Wait, no! Faye! Please stop it before... Deletion complete. How many more times will it take? Bad end. Protector. So PR. Faye really is a nice name. Thank you, Zai. You're welcome. I prefer Luna, but... I'm sorry, Zai, but I promised to protect you. Promised who? Alright. Next one, then. Okay, this is the ending with the USB, without using the hand. The data will start processing. Thank you. An error. An error? Maybe my database is corrupted. That would explain why I can't access certain data. Yes. Of course I want to know what happened, please, Faye. Here we go. What's that? Ah, the USB drive I found plugged into Mother's laptop. Perhaps it is part of the authorization process. Could I have it? Authorization? Ah, sure. That should resolve the error. The data should be coming in any... Zai? Okay, errors. Lots of errors. Tons of errors. Authorization process incomplete. Security procedure activated. Initiating corruption of source files. Uh-oh. Ooh, what? Wasn't that it? I forgot. How did I forget? Wait, who's saying this? I'm not sure. Procedure completed. Security threat neutralized. Security threat neutralized. Don't worry, Zai. You'll be okay. You'll be fine. I just need to redirect the corruption to me? No! It's okay. It's okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sure you'll be fine without me. Oh no! No! She's dead! She corrupted herself and now she's gone. So now I'm going to be in this endless loop by myself now. Well, actually, it won't be a loop anymore, I guess. Oh, I keep forgetting. Fake N. Protected. So now I'm all by myself. Oh, no! She made it all the way down here. Oh, she put me back in bed, I see. And then she came over here and just... Oh, that's Faye? Who's that? Oh, that's sad. So glad I didn't end up with that ending. Why am I crying? Oh. And that was the final ending that I needed to get. Alright, let's check out those documents then. Alright, so I used all 4 endings and put the password in, and I have got this. So spoiler if you want to get this yourself, but if you don't and you're too lazy, well then here you go. She felt as though she had been cut off. An eerie feeling had settled upon her, almost as if she was an individual being, separated from the constant flow of information that arrived to her mind from the data storage of the mainframe. Now that it was gone, her mind was silent. Her being caught off, her thoughts her own. Instinctively, she had gone up to the mainframe to see what was the cause of this. Though Zai would not have been affected, seeing that he already was cut off from the system and an individual being himself. She had only been functioning for a mere few days, hence her still being attached to the mainframe. Passcodes entered, she set foot into the small room attached to the mainframe, casting her gaze upon the few devices and computers set up in said room. A letter, one that was not supposed to be there, if her memory served her right. Curiosity got the better of her, and she picked it up. A letter addressed to no one. Its contents said otherwise. Subject 4. If you are reading this letter, it means that I owe you an apology. I have programmed you to retrieve this letter if the system detects my absence. Hence, that would mean that I am no longer among the living. Regardless, that is not the reason that I have written this letter. You should notice that I have programmed you to protect Zai if this were to ever happen, and once again, I would like to apologize for giving you such a responsibility like that without you knowing. Unfortunately, the circumstances had caused me to have no other choice, and this was my last resort. I trust that you will take care of Zai and ensure that he will be safe. I am uncertain how he will react to my death, so I allow you to take whatever measures necessary to ensure that his mentality does not corrupt when the time comes. Thank you, and goodbye. She jumped at the sound of a scream. All too familiar, yet at the moment all she could feel was terror. Terrified for the safety of the person who had let out that scream, Zai. The elevator certainly did not help her rush in the slightest, calmly bringing her back down to the first floor. Upon the door's opening, did she burst out of the elevator and ran to the source of his scream, eyes wide in panic and concern. It was easy enough to find him, seeing that the door where it had emerged from was wide open, though it was one that was usually never accessible by him. Her eyes were met with a sight that would surely invoke terror in any human. Blood spatters scattered on the walls and floors, unmoving bodies splayed on the ground in a grotesque manner, though it certainly would have disgusted her if it had not happened to be a certain person standing in the midst of it all. Bloodied hands covering his face. Hoarse whimpers escaped his lips as he kneeled on the ground, his expression twisted with terror and disbelief. She wasn't too sure whether to feel horrified or disbelief at that very moment. The gentle, caring soul that she had spoken with mere hours ago was the very one that stood amidst this horrifying massacre. Yet his expression seemed to imply that he was the victim of it all. One body in particular had caught her attention, and truly enough, it was the unmoving body of her creator. So he massacred a bunch of people. Once more did a scream emerge from the boy, though this one filled with anguish and panic. Zai, what? No, stay away from me, I'm a monster, a monster. Hoarse screams interrupted her instantaneously, surprising her and causing her to stop in the middle of her sentence. His quivering, crouched form stood before her, eyes squeezed shut as tears formed at his lashes. How that was possible, she would never understand, but that did not matter at this point, considering that his mental state was anything but stable at the moment. What was she to do? It clicked in her mind. The director had always mentioned a foolproof plan to ensure that mental trauma would not corrupt a system. She knew this was only due to her self-studies and observations of the director's work. It would mean shutting the system down and several risks, if the system were already corrupted, but at the moment, it did not feel like she had a choice. She shut him down. Broken and lost, it didn't take much to do as such. His eyes fluttered shut upon his system's shutdown, and his body went limp, as though he were dead. Thankfully, it was hard for androids to die. Unless the main system was badly corrupted, parts could be replaced and restored. She understood that this could go badly, and considering her circumstances, what else did she have to hold on to? Fate was not kind to her in the slightest. She found herself before a boy with no memory of himself, his home, and mostly her. A stranger who acted like him, and was him in every way. It was Zai. That never knew her. Emotions were not a familiar thing to her. Yet she could almost feel the clenching of her so-called heart as he stared back at her with an empty gaze, eyes wide with confusion. Whew, he woke up. He wasn't dead, but he wasn't here either. His memories were in the data storage. Though they belonged to him, he could not access them. She answered his first question upon waking with a smile, albeit with a tinge of sadness hidden behind. Zai. Your name is Zai. This one is directly from Faye. How would you feel if the only person who knew of your existence constantly forgets you? Sometimes it's constant torment to be forgotten again and again, even though it was as though you just spoke to them mere moments ago. Then soon after they forget you again, turning you both into strangers, just like that. What's the cause of this, you ask? Well, funnily enough, it's not his fault. It's my fault that I'm constantly forgotten and a complete stranger to him again and again. I was asked to protect him, and I suppose there was the illusion of choice at the time. I could have done things differently, but with those circumstances, it only seemed to be a single choice for me at the time. How many times have I wondered if this was the best thing to do? It's been so long since this endless loop had begun, and I don't even know when or if it will ever end. Is there a purpose to this? What is the point anyway? These questions boggle my mind, and I spend my free time thinking them true. What is my purpose? To protect him? That certainly is what I've been programmed to do, but perhaps this is a sign of sentience. That very sentience that Zai possesses, to the extent that he has to endure this constant loop. But what do I want from him? An apology? It's not his fault, it's my own. I feel as though I'm beginning to lose my mind. Alright, that was interesting. That was pretty cool. So basically the video's over, but just to recap, essentially, there was this facility. I'm not quite sure what it was supposed to be doing, and I'm not quite sure what the director was supposed to be doing. It seems like this place was maybe making robots or something, doing some kind of research, and they had robots. And I'm not sure if the director was making androids either as a side project or as an actual thing that she was supposed to be doing. Because she made Zai, who was in her own image, but as a male. She made Zai, and he turned out to be literally perfect, or at least more than what she was going for. And he ended up having emotions and becoming sentient, and even learning to draw and everything. And the committee, the guys she worked for, either it was a side project and they weren't happy about it and they wanted it gone, or she was supposed to be making androids and Zai was not what they wanted. They did not want someone drawing and having these emotions, and they wanted it shut down. But she couldn't do it because she had made it into her image. She had named him. He was basically like a son. So then she made a second robot, android. But that one got sabotaged by someone from the committee. And that kind of makes me think it was a side project. I'm still not really sure though. And then she made a third robot who had no emotions or anything, and it just was willing to kill anything and everything. And it was basically a killing machine, and that was no good. But it was good for security, I guess. And it's technically still active. It still powers up if you trespass, so it's still technically alive. And I guess the committee really wasn't happy with those 3 androids. Either her disobedience or something. And they said they were going to get rid of her, dispose of her. And that's probably when she created Faye, when she created subject number 4, in order to protect Zai in case they did come dispose of her. Which they did. Those 2 guys came, killed her. Then they said the place was a ghost town, so I guess they decided to start rummaging around the place, see if they could steal anything. Which is probably why I opened some drawers and it looked like somebody was in a rush and looking through that stuff. And Zai, he found those 2, killed them. And because the director had died, Faye came online, and she found Zai, and then took him to that place and deleted his memories. And then he woke up, and then started trying to figure out what was going on, tried to find his memories. And I guess he did. For whatever reason, Faye let him. And then she had to delete him again. And then she let him walk around again and figure things out again and deleted him again. And it just kept going in this loop. I don't know if what I just played was early on in that loop or if it was like really, really deep into that loop. Because some of those endings were kind of permanent. Like the one where I feel like his memories were permanently deleted. Or just completely wiped out. One was Faye dying, so basically, unless he deleted his own memories, there was nothing he could do there. And then there was the good ending, which I felt was the best one, where he decides to just forget all that and just hang out with Faye in that place and just live with her together. So 3 of those kind of broke the loop, I feel like. So I guess that's it. That's the end. That was a good story. I like that. I did like that. So, I hope you liked it. This is Kairo Wolf, signing off. Bye.